Hello, I'm that moron. My family says I need to communicate, so I'm making everyone's problem. I don't have a script that I'm actually recording this in, but yeah, just want to make a quick little video. This is honestly bothering me. The idea for a reboot for RWBY has been talked about for a while within its fan base, and you've got quite a few people who are for the idea, as well as quite a few people who are against the idea. I fall into the former of these categories. However, I want to be transparent as to why I'm even making this video to begin with. It's because last night I watched a video by the creator Judgmental Critter, who made a video of what she wants for Volume 10. And I actually think it was a pretty good video. Highly recommend that you watch it if you like RWBY. But one thing that bothered me, that was around before, but was really addressed within her video, was the fact that how she was against the idea of a reboot. And to an extent, I understand and even agree with some of her reasonings. But then recommended the idea of a remaster. Oh boy. Now, before I go into why I don't think the idea of a remaster is actually suitable for RWBY, I first want to make some things clear. I don't like reboots and remakes and stuff like that. Like, I'm a hardcore Devil May Cry fan. Like, I really love the series. And you got the fan base preaching for the first 3 games to be remade. I think that's a dumb idea. You should move on to either Devil May Cry 6 or a spin-off game. Okay, moron. If you don't like reboots or remakes, why do you think a remaster is actually the worst option RWBY could do? Well, to understand that, I first want to make one thing clear. I'm not really talking about Critter in this case. She was just the example, and I might even glean from some of the examples she chose. But it's not really about her. I don't care. The reason why a remaster is ultimately not a good idea is because RWBY is a fundamentally flawed show. You could go ahead and tidy up the animation, the visuals, and maybe even the fight scenes. Mind my French here, but when making a remaster, it wouldn't fix the fundamental problems that its fan base bitched about for the last decade. It really wouldn't. Even if you were to do minor changes and fix up the pacing. This isn't like Attack on Titan, the ending for Attack on Titan's anime, trying to fix the manga. You can't just do minor changes. You got to do a lot of changes. Even fixing RWBY, which I view as a reboot, by the way, despite the fact it's a fan project, I view as a reboot. And I'm going to get into why. Even that series that tried to go ahead and change as little as possible had to still change quite a bit. It might attract newcomers, but the problem is the same issues that plagued RWBY from day one will ultimately not be fixed. In order to fix RWBY, you have to add a lot more dialogue, a lot more scenes, remove certain unnecessary scenes, and ultimately, by the time you're said and done, it's literally a reboot. You just don't want to call it one. And contrary to popular belief, reboots can still be very faithful to a series. And more importantly, the essence and the themes that the series tried to do. Like, there are 2 examples I want to bring up. People were angry at both the Devil May Cry Netflix series and Devil May Cry. Both were very different in the way they did things, but in the grand scheme, Devil May Cry's fan base is more forgiving towards the reboot than the Netflix version, which leans a lot closer towards the games. So why is this? Without getting too far deep into it, the Netflix version had issues that contradicted the game, and while the reboot didn't do the best job at conveying that, you can tell that those themes were at the forefront. And the whole aspect of cool that Devil May Cry was known for, the reboot tried and mistook what people thought was cool. The second example I want to bring is actually Spider-Man. There are many iterations of Spider-Man, but the ones I want to bring up is the Spider-Man TV series from the 90s and the Spectacular Spider-Man TV show. Both are fundamentally different in how they choose to adapt the story of Spider-Man but they are ultimately still faithful in the way they do things, for various different reasons, and they take liberties of their own. Truthfully, there's nothing really wrong with having a reboot. Now, another thing I want to discuss is why continuing the show is a very risky move, and I don't think it's going to pay off. Unlike a reboot where you don't have to pay for the sins of the previous volumes, Volume 10 is going to have to pay for a whole lot of sins. It's going to have to explain why Raven suddenly wants to help everybody instead of run. I want to be proven wrong, and happy that Volume 10 is a very good series, is a very good season. But the problem is, like, I swear RWBY's writers do not watch their own series. Consistency has always been a problem of the show for a long time. And honestly, the fact that Sharecroft a while back said that RWBY sees the best in character in everyone, which is why she let Neo go. No, that tells me that the problem has not changed. You might be given time, you might be given resources, but the core problem has not changed. Now that stated, I want to give my personal reasons as to why I want a reboot. The truth is, I want a reboot for RWBY because I want the same thing Viz wants currently at the moment. More people to see RWBY. And because I want more people to see RWBY, the problem is I can't in good conscience recommend a series that just isn't good, nor use what's unique to it. The way I'm looking at it, even if they manage to turn Volume 10 back around, the RWBY unique stuff, it would be very inappropriate to put that at the forefront. Like, the way I see it, for how RWBY's been behaving, and this goes with projects like Fixing RWBY and RWBY Alternate, mind you. All of them are equally as guilty. I see it like having the Zanpakutos from Bleach still be alive, but never really building up to The Blade Is Me, if that makes sense. I feel that doing a reboot, you could properly emphasize the themes and uniqueness of RWBY, instead of just doing what's cool and copying other anime, and things that the creators thought were cool. Now, here's what a reboot should not do. A reboot should not fundamentally change what RWBY is. Which means stuff like RWBY Alternate is out of the question. Completely. If you have to fundamentally change if you fundamentally have to change who the characters are, if you fundamentally have to change what the world itself, and various other different things, you might as well not have rebooted RWBY to begin with. So in essence, let's go back to Critter's video for a minute. Still not really talking about this person in particular. Do I want Adam to be the final boss? No. No, I do not. I think Trailer Black through Volume 3 Adam were pretty cool, but he shouldn't have been the final boss. Do I think Beacon should have never fallen? Absolutely not. Based off the shows that inspired it, there was no way in hell it wasn't falling. Do I think completely not do Bumblebee? Okay, yeah, that's the exception. Like, unless you're removing Sun, you have no reason to build a Bumblebee, and I might make a video going into why shipping members of Team RWBY together is pointless as long as Team Sun exists, and now it's not for romantic reasons. It's really not. I don't like romance. But that's a story for another video. People like quoting Montiam, and one quote I came across was this: "It's not about living forever. It's about making something that does." Counterpoint: what's the point in giving something immortality if it's just going to have the legacy of a laughingstock? Something that is only going to be known for being a clown. By that point, it might as well not have lived at all. But yeah, that's the quick vid. Yeah, it's not gonna be very quick when I edit this, but yeah. I'm that moron. My family says I need to communicate, so I'm making everyone's problem. I'll see you guys in the next video.